That's on the boards, inside the paint, and for those easy buckets. Louisville, it's pace and pressure. They're going to pressure for much of this game, picking up in full court, and that's where we're going to see this game play out.
Kentucky with the opening possession. Last year, this game went to overtime. A win in OT for the Wildcats on their home floor, and they score first with Strack.
And what a way to start the game. You saw Louisville in a 2-3 zone. Clara Strack, hitting threes early is going to be important for this Kentucky team.
That is now 6 made threes on the season for Strack. They try to flip it out towards midcourt. It's saved with 10 on the shot clock. Ziegler, little handoff. Roberts straight away for the answer inside rim. Cats want to try to run. Key saves it on the baseline.
And now Louisville in a man-to-man. They're going to switch up make and miss.
Kentucky 6-0 on the season. They turn it over. Into traffic for Scott. Cards can't keep it alive. And Strack ends up with it.
But that's important. I like the way that Istanbulluoglu went after that offensive board, because Louisville is going to have to be strong on the glass in order to win this game today.
Morgan. And now Key trying to step around the defender, and she lays it in.
Well, you're looking at 6'4" and 6'5" out on the floor, but they've got guard skills. When they put the ball on the floor, they can get to the rim.
This Louisville team 4-1. They've already played a conference game. That was a win on the road at Clemson. Trying to back it on down. Series of moves. Bounces out. Istanbulluoglu almost. And then a foul in the backcourt. Randolph. That's her first. Jeff Walz is the head coach for the Cardinals. 19th season, closing in on 500 career victories. 4 trips to the Final Four for Coach Walz. And in 2018, the Coach of the Year in the Atlantic Coast Conference. ACC against SEC on the court in Louisville this afternoon. So glad that you're with us on the CW. Strack gets a kind rim roll.
She's just so good on that block. She'll fade away, she'll go into her defender. Istanbulluoglu really has her hands full trying to defend her one-on-one.
Strack had 17 points in that dominating victory against Purdue in the most recent game for Kentucky.
And she's been dominant all season long. Early in this season, she has done everything for this team. Leads the nation in blocks, in rebounds, in double-doubles.
That one came up short, well defended. Strack has 5 double-doubles and 21 for her career. Could not convert on that jumper. Around the edge, driver to the basket. Off the glass and in for Roberts.
Well, that's important, because that's what Louisville wants to do, is get some paint penetration. Kentucky defense tries to keep the ball out of the paint. That time able to turn the corner and get to the rim.
Tajianna Roberts and Ziegler tied for the team lead, 14 points per game. Kentucky gets a bucket at the other end, and they're up by 7 in the first quarter.
Yeah, great to see Morgan getting going offensively. She averages 9 assists a game, so she's more of that pass-first point guard, but great to see her get a shot in early.
Tony Morgan, who spent 3 years in the Georgia Tech program in the ACC, taken away. Strack was able to grab it and give it to Morgan. Senior from Tallahassee, Florida, has to flip it back out.
And we talked to Coach about just her coming in for the great Georgia Amore, and he said we're not going to compare the two. She does her own things, and she does them well.
Key, second chance. She regathers and scores inside for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Tiani Key really battling on that block to get inside position. Goes up strong against her defender.
Louisville has won the last 4 matchups at home against the visiting Wildcats. And that's a jumper. Smooth-looking jumper from Roberts.
I love the look. Coming off the screen. Don't have it cross over to the other side. Give yourself an open mid-range shot.
Kentucky had a huge win on Tuesday at home against Purdue, 76 to 35. Knocked away Ziegler. A 41-point win for the Wildcats. Roberts steps into the three ball and knocks it down.
You got to be careful. Both teams coming down in transition can knock down threes, but Roberts, I think she's ready. Coach got on her today and shoot around, and you and I both said, watch her come out and have a big game against the Wildcats.
Now, that was not a shoot around. That was a full-blown practice. Earlier today here at KFC Yum Center, knocked away. A couple of players diving to the floor, to the corner. Roberts, who leads this team in three-point shooting. Ziegler on the defensive end.
Big time block for Ziegler, and then she takes the ball on her own, passes to Roberts for the three. And we're going to a timeout. Does the development in that post position, and she has been fantastic. And just a 19-year-old junior, by the way, Tom.
Ziegler, the miss on the three. Coach Brooks in his second season in Lexington after 8 years with Virginia Tech. Kitley was part of that team back in 2023. They made it to the Final Four. Knocked away. Ziegler gathers it. Rattling home for the Cards. And it's a one-point game.
And we talked about Kentucky's proficiency on the three-point line. They make 10 threes a game. That leads the nation. I'll tell you what, Louisville coming into this one, showing a little bit of their three-point production as well.
It is an 8-0 run for the Cardinals. It could be more. Roberts, an alley to the rim, and she lays it in. Louisville goes in front.
Well, Kentucky does not turn the ball over much, only averages 10 turnovers a game. And so Louisville using that speed, trying to disrupt what Kentucky is doing on offense, and it's working.
Raina Scott just picked up the foul for Louisville. Here's the steal from Roberts.
Yeah, great job anticipating the pass, gets up in the passing lane all the way to the rim. They talked about this in practice. They don't want to make it easy for Kentucky to get the ball where they want it to go.
Strack. A lot of dribbling and a double team. And then out of that corner for an easy layup for Obi.
Well, I love the defense coming down and doubling Strack, but you got to have rotation ready if you're going to leave that baseline wide open.
Ziegler, quick trigger, misses. Strack had the rebound. We mentioned Coach Brooks in the Final Four in 23. Louisville with Coach Walls in the Final Four in 2022.
Yeah, these storied traditions. As we were singing the national anthem, looking up at those banners that these women have hung, it's pretty impressive.
Skylar Jones on the drive, using the glass.
I like the balance of this team. They're coming off a game against Morehead State where 7 players were in double figures. A lot of different firepower on this Louisville team.
Cards won it on Wednesday, 96-49, their 4th win in a row. They're 4-1 on the season. Only lost to UConn, number 1 in the nation.
Yeah, that was a test to start off the year, having to play number 1.
And they played that game in Annapolis, Maryland. Miss from Strack on the turnaround, fight on the glass, and it's won by Obi.
And that's what Kentucky does. They will stay active on the offensive rebounds, and Louisville must find a body. Something else they talked about in shoot-around this morning.
Ziegler picked up the loose ball. Roberts, mid-range. How about the reaction from Roberts?
What a smart decision. You see 6'5" coming at you. Quick ball fake, put the ball on the floor, pull up. That's a great-looking jumper by Roberts.
How about Taj Roberts with 11 points already, almost to her average per game of 14, which is tied for the team lead. Ziegler tied it up. It'll be Cardinals basketball. There was a foul called on Obi, and so it will be Louisville ball. Coach Brooks on that Kentucky sideline. We had a chance to talk to him yesterday. He said he thought he had an idea about what this rivalry meant until he played in the game last year and it went to overtime and he won it at home in Lexington.
Well, and remember how they won it. Louisville was up, at the end of the game, and then they went on a big scoring drought, and Kentucky was able to tie up the game, went into overtime, and Louisville didn't score the entire overtime. Kentucky won it handily. in extra innings. But I'll tell you what, he knows now, and he's gotten his players on the same page. They know what this means.
Georgia Amor had 19 points in the game last year. Tiani Key had 17. She's in the lineup right now for the Wildcats in possession with just over a minute to go in a rapid first quarter of play between Louisville and Kentucky. Shot clock's inside of 10. Loud dribbling from Morgan. The kick out and jumper has it. Strack preserves the possession, and we're inside of a minute to go in the quarter. Boone had nowhere to go. Morgan, the hesitation and drive, they tied her up. Foul might have been called. Poulani Spurlock, Gina Cross, and Jeff Wooten are officials.
Well, the crowd doesn't like it, but that's too much body right there. Morgan trying to find a lane, but this Louisville defense has been sharp, keeping players with the ball in front of them, not letting them get angles to the basket.
So Jones picked up the foul for Louisville. If you haven't been watching Law & Order Toronto, Criminal Intent on the CW, only one more episode left till the thrilling season finale. For the same team that brought you the original series, ripped from the headline stories that will leave you shocked. Don't miss an all-new Law & Order Toronto, Criminal Intent, Wednesday, 8/7 Central, right here on the CW. 1-point game, 6th lead change of the game in the first quarter, with inside of 30 seconds to go. Foul on the drive. Hassett was defending and picks it up. Her first.
Louisville has been having success when they get to the rim. You see there's a lot of screens. You don't see it on that replay, but screening action taking place on the other side. Some misdirection and leaves the lane open for Jones. No help comes. She just goes one-on-one.
Tied up again with just over 25 seconds to go in the first quarter. Kentucky leads the overall series, 35-24. Louisville has the lead here, 17-11. First met back in December of 1975. And another chapter for 2025-26 unfolding in front of us in the closing seconds of the first quarter. Strack regather into the paint, got it to fall.
She's just so patient when she gets the ball. Does a great job feeding her on the block, turns, has the quickness advantage to get to the rim around Putra, and finishes through contact. I mean, that's what I talk about, her versatility. I mean, because if she doesn't make that move, she makes the step back move and knocks it down. Or she'll dribble out, she can hit a three-pointer. She is just so solid inside with the ball in her hands.
82% from the free throw line on the season for Strack. Rebounded by the Cards, trying to rush it up. 6 and now 5 seconds. Scott on the drive, trying to shake her defender. Missed the shot. Key had the defense. And at the end of the first, it's Kentucky with the 19-18. Went on to finish 23-8 in his first season, 11-5 and 4th in the SEC. Second round loss to Kansas State in the NCAA tournament. Louisville with the basketball to start the second quarter, and trailing by 1. Scott out of the corner. Oh, Key with the rejection, and she grabbed it. Handles from Key, cross it over, lay it in.
All right, that goes on the highlight reel. Are you kidding me? Huge block on the one side, and then how about the answer? Taj Roberts all the way to the rim. Doesn't even let me talk about how beautiful that play was for Key.
13 points for Roberts. She is 6 of 7 from the floor.
That's what what you got to love about this Louisville team. And with this unbelievable crowd behind them, they are not going to be shut up for long. Kentucky does something well, and Louisville answers immediately.
Ziegler runs it down. Roberts, who got the double digits 25 times last year, made it in the first quarter and added to it early in the second. Fifth time this season that Roberts, with the basketball, has made it to double digits in scoring. And when it's your day, it's your day.
Doesn't matter how it goes in, right? But that ball screen has been very useful for Louisville. They're coming off the ball screen. Defense is electing to go behind, and they're able to find an open space for a shot.
This is Boone, the transfer from Liberty.
Yeah, the Conference USA Freshman of the Year a couple years ago, and her team played this Kentucky team in the first round of the NCAA tournament last year, and here she is now in blue and white.
Kentucky hosting those first 2 rounds in the NCAA tournament. Strack had the shot altered. Ziegler, show and go into the paint. Angular rebound. There's a collision underneath the basket.
All right, we need the replay for me to be able to talk about this adequately. The left-handed block by Key. She gets the ball, does an outlet to a guard, takes it on her own, goes down, up and under move. Are you kidding me? I mean, and that's not just Tiani Key, by the way. That's Strack, that's Hassett. These post players have been worked with to be able to put the ball on the floor and be ball handlers. I mean, you don't see that in a lot of programs.
Key is the transfer from North Carolina, 2 years in that program. Second year at Kentucky for the senior from Cary, North Carolina, number 7 in blue.
Roberts, quick release, and she looks to the heavens. 17 points in the first half.
Everything falling for 22 in red. I mean, Tom, this shoot-around this morning, I mean, Coach got into her. And you know what? You'd love to see that in a player. How do they respond? Well, Taj Roberts is showing us. Tough as nails.
Obi to Key. Tried to flip it through the paint. It was not deflected.
And I like that no call right there by the official. She was in good position, definitely tried to take the flop. Coach Wall is trying to argue something else.
And he's talking with Jenna Cross, and it smiles post-conversation. 6th turnover for Kentucky in the first half.
Okay, that's significant. This is a team, one of the best in the country at taking care of the ball. 10 turnovers a game, and they already have 6. It tells you what this Louisville defense has been able to do. Disrupt and get Kentucky off their game.
Louisville 2 for 5 from beyond the arc so far. Kentucky just 1 of 3 in three-point shooting.
And that'll change. Coming into this game, they average 10 threes a game. They are great outside scorers.
Ziegler wants a 3, and she rattles it in.
I mean, if this isn't home court advantage right now, a few of these shots, Tom, are going off the backboard and still falling in.
This has tournament feel. 6-point lead. Louisville in the second quarter. It is a 9-0 run for the Cards. 6.5 minutes to go in the second.
You got to get the ball into Clara Strack's hands.
Try to go low. Can't connect with Key from Obi. They turn it over. Roberts on the handoff. High arcing 3, front rim. Now that might have popped the roof off this place. Time to settle down just a little bit.
What an environment, though. This KFC
Incredible. Morgan, hesitation. One-handed layup. Gravity grabs it.
Great job. Sees the opening, goes all the way to the rim. That's the beauty of having these post players. You got to defend them so hard no matter where they are. There's little help.
Key may have deflected that shot from Jones. So now a chance for Kentucky. Into the paint, Morgan. She's got it.
Back-to-back buckets for Toni Morgan. When her team needed some points, she steps up.
Morgan now with 8 points. Her average 9.5 per game on the season. Had 11.6 assists, a game high in the win against Purdue earlier this week for the Wildcats. Shot clock's down to 5. pass deflected. Key, potential 2-on-1. Strack joins the fray. Steps around the defender.
That was an all-post play. Fast break right there. 2-on-1. Ziegler did what she could, but great job by Strack to finish.
So Kentucky comes back with a 6-0 run of its own in the second quarter. And we're tied at 27. You just get the feeling it's going to be hard to distance yourself from the competition in this game. Stripped away 2-on-2. Morgan. Foul called. Istanbulluoglu. That's her first. Tiana Key, the senior from Cary, North Carolina.
And Jeff Walz with an opportunity to set up a last play with 17 seconds left after this free throw.
Last season, Key was instrumental in the Wildcats' victory with 17 points, and she converts the old school three-point play. 2-point lead, 17 seconds. $16 lead changes in our first half. Astounding. Ziegler. 2 seconds. They need a shot from Scott. Not sure she got it away.
We came into this one saying this is really the first challenge for Kentucky. They played against Purdue. You would have thought that was a challenge, but they only allowed Purdue 35 points, held them to 20% field goal shooting. I mean, they annihilated them.
And they start the half off with a 3.
I think it's important to have Hassett back in the game. She was out with 2 fouls, had to sit. Those are her first points of the day. She's had multiple games with many threes from outside, so great start to this half.
She's made 18 threes on the season. That leads the team, and it's Key defensively against Ziegler. Morgan races it up. Key, one-on-one, little follow-away front rim.
And you see how quickly Louisville turned to make contact to go get that rebound. I can assure you that Coach Walz was talking about that at halftime. They've given up 11 second chance points. Great backdoor play. And Ziegler with the finish. Great delivery.
Ziegler into double digits with 10 points. Double figures for the 5th time this season. Easy basket, Key at the other end. Key has double figures as well for Kentucky. She now has 11. Roberts, she had double figures in the first quarter. Ziegler fires away. The intense pace of this game continues into the third quarter with Key backing it down for the Wildcats.
Key has been so impressive. We talked about Clara Strack early on. Tiana Key deserves as much conversation because her offensive game has been phenomenal.
A win against Buffalo on the road. Key had her double-double with 17 points and 12 rebounds, 13th career double-double. Angular rebound is Strack. Morgan looks over at second-year head coach Kenny Brooks. 24th season on the bench in college. He's had one losing season, although he won't like that. Offensive foul against the Wildcats.
I think he found what he's good at. Everywhere he goes, he wins. He wins championships. He wins those conference championships, gets his team to NCAA tournament appearances. He hosted first 2 rounds last year in his first year at Kentucky.
So in 2023, his Virginia Tech team won the ACC tournament. They beat Louisville in the championship game, 75-67. Berry pulls it up and hits it.
And again, that high ball screen. One dribble, couple dribbles, whatever it takes to find that opening. That has been effective for Louisville.
First points for Berry, the sophomore from Clarksville, Tennessee. Coming off a 13-point performance against Morehead State. Strack with the touch.
Well, that's a tough shot. Istanbulluoglu is guarding her very well. Roberts, though, comes down, misses the jumper.
Almost got it back. Key 2-on-1 with Morgan. Ziegler defending.
Offensive foul called on Key.
And Jeff Wooten was right on top of the call.
I love Ziegler's energy. Gets back in position. Sees Key's gonna take it herself. Feet squared, took the contact. That is absolutely a charge, and then gets up and tries to get this crowd into it again.
Berry just got her first points of the game moments ago. Randolph on the perimeter. Shot clock goes inside of 10. Difficult shot, hit the front rim. Obi came flying in on the miss by Istanbulluoglu. Pass it, tees it up. Roberts up and under. Couldn't beat Hassett.
We're in a track race right now.
Morgan tries the up and under. She's unsuccessful. Hits the deck. Unbalanced advantage, Louisville. And now Morgan joins the fray. Berry lets it fly.
Eventually someone's gonna slow it up. Yeah, Kenny Brooks looking at his point guard saying, let's just take some time and get a good shot.
96 games played in her 3 years at Georgia Tech for Tony Morgan. Over 1,200 points, over 500 rebounds, and a two-time All-ACC selection. Pull it up, miss it. Key grabs it. Key against Ziegler. This time the foul is on Ziegler for Louisville. That'll be her second for Laura Ziegler, senior from Denmark.
And look at the patience by Key. Turns, and Ziegler, yeah, just wrapped her up around the chest. Good call by the official. And again, I'll say it, I love how these officials have been calling this game, letting them play. There's been contact, but not making the game about the whistle, about the calls. I mean, we've been in a track race, track meet, it seems, just up and down. That's how these two teams want to play.
Expect nothing less when these two teams get together with everything that's on the line. Boom. And now Morgan closing in on 5 minutes to go in the quarter. On the weak side, Hassett tries to run it down. Boone got it. Morgan, a little bit of daylight and a flick to Hassett. Came right to Blue, gave it off to Strack. Unselfish play by Blue.
And that's where size makes a difference in this game, because they are all over the offensive glass. 3 offensive rebounds, or third chance, rather, 2 offensive boards.
The 9-point lead, the largest of the afternoon for the visiting Wildcats. Berry had it knocked away by Strack. Hassett firing away.
What a great look in transition. Hassett wanted one just a moment ago, and Jeff Walz is going to take a timeout.
The Wildcats doing it at both ends of the floor. With 5 blocks in the game. Last year, they set the school record with 218 blocks during the course of the season. They average 10 per game right now early on this year.
And no Strack and no Key inside for Kentucky. You wonder if Louisville should go in that time. Instead, Ziegler elects to take the fall away.
Hassett, who hit that 3-pointer right before the timeout by Coach Walz. Leads the team in made threes, has the basketball. Obi around the outside. Reversing field. A lot of work by Obi for 2.
They've been successful one-on-one inside that paint. Louisville not bringing anybody to dig down or help, and Obi is just able to put it up and over Istanbulluoglu.
A 9-0 run over the last 3.5 minutes. The entry pass is a foul. Jordan Obi came to Coach Walz. What he's been able to do with this program, astounding.
She was a big part of their success. She had a game, actually it was her junior year, so not the year she went to the Final Four, where she had 20 rebounds in a Sweet 16 game against UNC.
In and out for Putra. Before Coach Walls arrived, and that was 19 years ago, 4 total NCAA tournament wins.
Wow.
Now they have 4 trips to the Final Four.
And he's approaching 600 career wins.
Bounces out for a Hassett. Online all the way.
I said 600, 500. I'm sure he'd like the 600, but he's at 490.
He may get to 600.
He will.
You never know.
He will.
He may just keep on going. Next year will be year number 20 on the bench for Walls. Kenny Brooks early on in his tenure in Kentucky. After 8 years at Virginia Tech. Also head coach of James Madison. His team loses possession.
And Louisville seems to be a little more disruptive, like they were in that first half. Going after the ball and a big-time block by Hassett.
Morgan in transition, lost the handle. Shovels it to Hassett, tees up a 3. Skylar Jones on the slow walk. Roberts looks over at Coach Walls for the set. Putra. Over the shoulder, did not calculate the angle off the glass. Just 4 points in the quarter for Louisville, and we're inside of 2 minutes to go.
And they've not been able to capitalize on the fact that Strack and Key are out of the game. Tony Morgan just continues to play above what we expected in terms of offensively. She has been so good, was in double digits in the first half of this one.
Above her season average of 9.5 points per game. Putra, tough shot, bounces side rim, and that's now 12 shots in a row missed by Louisville. Morgan, fancy pass, Obi's open.
Well, we asked Jeff Walls this morning, what do you need to do? What do you say, Tom? Make shots.
Do the simple things and hustle and make shots.
They've not been able to do that this quarter.
No.
Had such a special relationship. Coach affectionately calls her my mini-me. They talk often, and she was his protege.
And maybe she gave him some keys to victory because they spoke yesterday at length over the phone, Coach Brooks told us. So whatever she said, it's working for the Wildcats. That is a held ball on the baseline. A lot of emotion and intensity in this game, and Louisville needs to step it up and make it happen soon. With 51 seconds to go, it is Kentucky on the arrow. This third quarter, dominated by the Wildcats. They led by just 2 at halftime, Kelly.
It's been brutal for Louisville. They've just not been able to finish their shots. They've had good looks at the rim, but you go back to even the shot blocking ability of Kentucky. If they don't block the shot, they're going to alter it, even in Louisville's mind, because you're adjusting your shot because you don't want to get it blocked.
Strack. A little bit short. Ziegler on the hustle. Fires it up. Saved by Berry. Roberts. Ziegler from the free throw line and got a nice soft KMC Yum Center bounce.
There's a collective sigh here in the KFC Yum Center.
Final 10 seconds for Morgan. Berry defends. On her hip. Key is open. And that'll end the third. Kelly Deo, all Wildcats in that third quarter. Yeah, Obi part of the starting lineup that has been so effective in this game for Kentucky. Can the Cards mount a comeback in the battle of the Bluegrass? The final quarter, and they lose possession. Morgan, always in 5th gear. A veteran of the ACC. Now in Kentucky blue, she missed that shot. She's behind the play and wincing. Ziegler steps into the 3.
There's an opportunity for Louisville. You get a stop, you hit a 3. Now they need to carry that over with another stop on defense.
15 points for Ziegler. Roberts leads Louisville with 19. And their 4th made 3 of the game by Ziegler. Strack trying to get position. Shot clock is down to 3. Key must shoot. Louisville grabs it. Ziegler again. Off target. McKinley Randolph tried to disrupt the play and committed a foul, her second personal. Sophomore from Los Angeles, California. Remember, the Cards already have a conference victory. They won at Clemson on November 16th. Lost against UConn in Annapolis, Maryland. That was early November. 79-66. They'll also play South Carolina in the ACC SEC Challenge coming up. What a schedule for the Cards.
They'll play Tennessee as well. All of this, by the way, before Christmas.
Stepping on the sideline, Obi right in front of her own bench. Louisville gets the ball back. The 11th turnover of the game.
These are the areas where Kentucky is they're opening the door just a bit with these turnovers. And Louisville needs to capitalize if they want to cut into this lead.
This is a program that made the second round of the NCAA tournament a season ago against TCU. They lost. They tied. They've got 2. Hardy, first basket.
How about that? Coming into the fourth quarter of this one, just leaps into the air to grab it.
Anaya Hardy.
And great patience here by Roberts off of the screen. Look at that, jumps into the air, grabs it, settles herself and goes up with the left.
12 points, 13 boards, both career highs for Hardy in the win against Morehead State. For Louisville on Wednesday, 96-49 on this floor. They've won 4 in a row. And they've won 4 in a row in the series at home. Inside of 8 minutes to go in the quarter. Morgan almost lost it in the corner. Strack gives it back to her. This is Obi in the corner. Ziegler on the run. Waiting for reinforcements as Roberts joins the fray. Tajianna Roberts, 19 points. Although in the second half, shut out. Randolph against the double team, has to kick it out. This is Ziegler. Got the bounce for the Cards.
Seven minutes and 10 seconds of this game. You're going to see Louisville continue to pick up in that full court pressure, trying to force turnovers. And that is a second straight foul on Berry.
Closing in on the 7-minute threshold here in the fourth quarter. Morgan, triple teamed in the paint. Strack is the safety valve. Nowhere to go. Tough shot. She was fouled. Hardy defending Strack. First on Hardy.
I think Hardy has been a great addition to the team right now in this fourth quarter. I know she picked up that foul there, but she made it difficult for Clara Strack to get a clean look at the basket.
You're watching CW Women's Hoop, presented by Allstate. You're in good hands, and that's 2 free throws from Strack, who is from Buffalo, New York. On November 9th, Kentucky traveled to Buffalo.
Yeah.
All she did was score 27 points, get 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks in her return home.
How about that? Nothing like playing in front of your home crowd.
Berry was fouled on the drive. By the way, the 27 points by Strack, a career high. Morgan picked up the foul. Kelly, that's her first. Great to be alongside Kelly Dale, a member of the 2001 National Championship team from Notre Dame. And the slogan, get the ball to Ruth. Deo, give it to Ruth Riley, please.
Hey, player of the year. That's where the ball needed to go. Neil Ivey wasn't too bad with the ball in her hands either.
She certainly has a player of the year nationally candidate in Hannah Hidalgo.
Yeah.
on that Notre Dame roster.
How about that shot last night? 1.9 seconds to go against USC for the win. Well done, Irish.
See if this one comes down to the wire. All of a sudden, it's a 9-point game. Kentucky led by as many as 18 in the third quarter, and that's Morgan with the flex on the drive.
Tony Morgan. We came into this game talking Strack, talking Key, and Tony Morgan has been dynamite. If Kentucky wins this game, she's the player of the game for me.
Deflected by Strack and taken in on the turnover. 14 points for Morgan. Senior out of Tallahassee, Florida, has the ball and the confidence. Inside of 6 minutes to go in the fourth. To the elbow. It's a net for Morgan.
She's like the pressure release, right? Because there's so many defenders are on those posts inside, and the miss by Louisville, but the offensive rebound, man, did they need that.
McKinley Randolph. After miss from Roberts, who has struggled mightily in the second half. After Roberts put up 19 first half points. Strack, kick, Obi. Out of bounds to the Cardinals. We are a long way from done here, Kelly Dale. That's what Coach Brooks is looking at the clock. It's like, how can there be 5 minutes left in this game?
That first half flew by.
Hardy got bumped by Obi. Third personal on Jordan Obi.
I just love the discipline that Louisville is playing with. At the last break, they had just 4 turnovers in the game. They have been poised. They're making good decisions against a very difficult defensive team in Kentucky.
Roberts stepping back for the three. Taj Roberts. And her first points in the second half are enormous.
Over the outstretched arms of 6'5". That shot was unreal.
6 made threes in the game for Louisville. Key, little follow away with finesse and touch.
Well, that's what's been working, just really a one-on-one game. We saw Claire Strack do it a few possessions ago. Now Tiani Key goes one-on-one to the bucket. Louisville's got to bring some help.
15 points now for Key. Stepping back is Roberts. High arcing shot. Obi comes flying in. Ball's available for Morgan. Morgan she's not even waiting, but now she will. Thought she was going to try to get to the rim. Wasn't waiting for her teammates. Getting down to crunch time, closing in on 3.5 minutes to go in regulation, and the shot clock is at 6. Morgan.
So pretty.
That's now 18 points, a season high for Morgan. Scott into traffic, lays it up and in.
We saw that in the first half. Louisville had done a really good job of paint penetration, whether it was a jump stop for the mid-range or all the way to the rim.
This is really the first time that Kentucky's been tested this season. They won their first 6 games of the year easily. Shot clock is again deep. 5, Hassett. Ziegler comes in for the board. Up ahead, Scott. She's ahead of all the Kentucky defenders, and she lays it in.
Easiest offense right there. And it starts with the outlet pass from Ziegler.
Season for Ziegler, Kelly. 44th in her career. Remember, Ziegler a new addition after 3 years playing at St. Joe's, where she played 96 career games.
And I think everybody was curious as to how good she would be. There were a lot of question marks on her. And how about the defense? Scott does not end up with possession, but even still, great stop. But going back to that, and then Louisville starts off the season playing #1 UConn. And I think she answered everyone's questions. 16 points, 18 boards against #1 in the country.
She also made 4 3-pointers. And now 17 points for Key. Every bucket critical. Down the stretch in a 10-point game. Kentucky led by 2 at halftime. Ziegler looking for assistance. We're inside of 2 minutes to go. Scott. Oh, Key the block. Number 7 for Kentucky in the game.
It's just so difficult to get inside that paint and try to put up a shot that's uncontested, let alone blocked.
Roberts, just a little bit of contact on a driving Tony Morgan. First foul on Roberts. Substitution for Louisville. Raina Scott comes out of the game. Damari Berry is into the lineup.
I've watched a lot of film coming into this one, and it looks like Tony Morgan has stepped her game up to a new level walking into this game. You know, you wonder if some of it has to do with the rivalry, some of it has to do with just her coach in her ear saying, hey, I need you to score. I need you to be an option. I love your passing. And she answered the call. Has been so special in this game. 7
assists as well for Morgan. She has over 500 in her career, 3rd most among active players in Division I. And this is Berry on the dribble. It's now an 11-point game. Box out from Obi, and Strack comes flying in. Double-double now for Strack. After that rebound, 15 points, 10 boards. Final minute.
Strack leads the nation in double-doubles this season.
That is her 6th on the season, 22nd in her career, and a turnover for Kentucky. Really, that 3rd quarter, the difference. Kentucky outscoring Louisville 20-6 and building on a 2-point halftime lead.
We talk a lot about how good they are offensively, but their defense has been dominant this season, and that right there is why. Rim protectors everywhere. 2 long arms going after that block. I don't know who will come up with it in terms of the stat sheet, but that's number 8.
And they average 10 per game, best in the SEC. Ziegler. Unfortunately for Louisville, that might sum up the afternoon right there.
Yeah, but a rare error, because Louisville has done a good job of maintaining possession, being disciplined, careful with the ball.
You know, we talked about the schedule for Louisville. Wednesday, Kentucky goes to San Juan, Puerto Rico, and they take on number 9 Maryland.
Wow.
They'll take on Miami in early December in the ACC-SEC Challenge. And that first SEC game is January 1st against number 5 LSU for Kentucky. Strack might have put the finishing touches on this one.
With my favorite move right there. A fade away. That was so pretty.
17 points for Strack. Morgan leading the way with 19. Basket and foul other end. Istanbulluoglu. Not going to be enough, though, Kelly, with 4.9 seconds to go. And it's an impressive visit to Louisville and KFC Yum Center for Kentucky.
Clara Strack has been special. Tony Morgan, everybody on this Kentucky team. And Tony Morgan is having a little conversation with her coach as he sends her out to the floor. I know he's got to be so proud of his point guard.
Tony Morgan, who tied a school record with 16 assists earlier this season against USC Upstate.
And 0 turnovers in that game. What kind of stat line is that? That is proficiency.
She only turned it over once this afternoon as well, Kelly.
Wow.
Final seconds tick away, and the Wildcats win the Battle of the Blues for 2025. Kenny Brooks